Pythagoras is usually remembered as a philosopher of numbers. For many people, his name points to mathematics, triangles, ratios, and school formulas. But in the older occult imagination, Pythagoras was not simply the man of calculation. He was the figure who made number into a way of reading reality. That is the real shift. For Pythagoras, number was not only something used to count objects. Number revealed order. It showed proportion, rhythm, harmony, relation, measure, and hidden structure. And once number becomes the language of hidden order, it stops being only mathematics. It becomes occult philosophy. Not occult because it is vague. Not occult because it is dramatic. Occult because it deals with what acts beneath appearance. A visible thing can be counted, but a proportion must be understood. A sound can be heard, but harmony must be recognized. A shape can be seen, but the relation that gives it power is less obvious. This is where Pythagoras becomes important for the magical mind. He does not only ask, "What is this thing?" He asks, "By what measure does this thing stand in relation to everything else?" That question changes the whole world. A stone is not only a stone. A note is not only a sound. A figure is not only a drawing. A name is not only a word. Each can belong to a structure of number, proportion, correspondence, and effect. In this worldview, the universe is not a pile of separate objects. It is an ordered field of relations. And Pythagoras is the sage who sees number inside that relation. This is why the old magical tradition could treat numbers as virtues. The word virtue here does not mean moral goodness. It means active capacity. A thing has virtue when it can act, receive, preserve, bind, intensify, or organize something within a system. So when number receives virtue, it is not just a symbol on a page. It becomes a principle of arrangement. Think of a simple triangle. To the ordinary eye, it is 3 lines. To a mathematical eye, it is a form with angles and ratios. But to the occult philosophical eye, it can become more than a form. It can become relation made visible. 3 points, 3 positions, 3 limits. A structure that holds tension, balance, direction, and proportion. The magical mind does not stop at the drawing. It asks what the form is able to contain, what it connects, what it orders, what kind of relation it makes visible. That is how number moves from abstraction into operation. First, number exists as measure. Then number becomes proportion. Then proportion becomes figure. Then figure becomes character, seal, form, or image. And once form is arranged with intention, material, timing, and correspondence, it enters the logic of magical operation. This is why Pythagoras matters here. He stands at the point where number is no longer only counted. It is used to read how things hold together. Time can be measured by number. Motion can be divided by number. Action unfolds through number. Harmony depends on number. Voice depends on proportion. Even rhythm becomes number moving through time. So number becomes a bridge between the visible and the invisible. You cannot see rhythm as an object, but you can recognize it through repetition. You cannot touch harmony directly, but you can hear when relations are ordered. You cannot hold proportion in your hand, but you can see its effect in architecture, music, figure, and motion. Pythagoras turns this recognition into a model of wisdom. The wise person is not the one who collects strange terms. The wise person is the one who can recognize order where others see only surfaces. This is why reducing Pythagoras to the man of numbers is too weak. It keeps the number, but removes division. In this older view, number is not dead quantity. It is living structure. It is how the hidden order of nature becomes legible. And this also explains the link between Pythagoras and discipline. A person who wants to read order must first become ordered. That may sound moral at first, but in magical philosophy, it is more technical. A scattered mind misreads relations. A restless imagination invents meanings too quickly. A noisy soul sees signs everywhere, but structure nowhere. So silence matters, temperance matters, purification matters. Not because the sage is trying to look holy, but because the instrument of perception must be steady. If the inner instrument is distorted, the world will be read through distortion. This is one of the most important parts of the Pythagorean image. The sage is not just someone who knows numbers. He is someone disciplined enough to let number reveal order without turning that order into fantasy. That is the difference between curiosity and wisdom. Curiosity wants unusual information. Wisdom wants right relation. Curiosity asks, what does this symbol mean? Wisdom asks, what relation does this symbol hold? And under what condition has it become operative? That is a much sharper question. A number by itself can become superstition if it is isolated. 4, 7, 10, 12. These can be repeated endlessly without understanding. But in a serious system, a number matters because of its relation to form, to scale, to proportion, to timing, to a cosmological order, to a symbolic hierarchy. The number does not float alone. It belongs to a chain. This is also why Pythagoras connects naturally with harmony. Harmony is not random beauty. Harmony is ordered difference. It is not sameness. It is relation brought into measure. Two notes can clash. Two notes can complete each other. The difference is not only sound, it is proportion. A world built on harmony is not a world where everything is identical. It is a world where different things can be placed into intelligible relation. That is the hidden order behind nature. Earth and heaven, soul and body, sound and number, figure and force, motion and time, visible form and invisible proportion. Pythagoras becomes the figure who teaches that the world can be read because it is ordered. And this is where number becomes occult philosophy. Not because it gives secret power, not because it lets someone control reality, but because it reveals that reality is structured through relations that are not always visible at first glance. A person may see a talisman and think it is only a strange object, but the older magical reading is more precise. It asks about number, figure, material, name, timing, intention, and correspondence. The object is not only decoration, it is an arranged meeting point. And Pythagoras stands behind that logic because he gives number a central role in making arrangement intelligible. The number orders the figure holds the relation allows the operation to be understood. Without that, magic becomes atmosphere. With it, magic becomes structure. This does not mean every claim made by the tradition has to be accepted literally. It means the logic can be understood clearly. The tradition is not saying that numbers are just lucky tokens. It is saying that number is one of the ways hidden order becomes readable. That is the essential point. Pythagoras did not merely turn number into mathematics. He helped turn number into a philosophical instrument for reading nature, harmony, soul, form, and divine order. So the retained idea is simple. Pythagoras is the sage who turns number into a way of reading hidden order. Once that is understood, the triangle is no longer only geometry. Harmony is no longer only music. Silence is no longer only absence of speech. And number is no longer only calculation. Number becomes measure. Measure becomes relation. Relation becomes order. And order, when it is hidden beneath the visible world, becomes the true subject of occult philosophy. Join those who follow these texts.